How's it going, guys? So, big news. Remember I was trying to build that road and we were digging out that big hole in the ground? Well, it's been doing okay so far. It's been able to give us a little bit of cash. It's been able to keep us running. And I thought, why not see if we can't reopen the mine that we did the coal from and bring that into the system? So, that's what we have done. Now, should I be able to get it to scoop, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop this up. There's a trick here because there is a lot of stone underneath this, so once we hit that stone we do kind of hit a block and stop. But I'm just going to drop this off and then I'm going to show you the changes that we have done up top that brings the coal mine into the rest of the system. The best thing about this means that we can dig from either this coal mine or from the lithium mine up above that's basically a lot of pay dirt at the minute without interrupting the system too badly. I was looking at the costs and the prices that I was getting back from just digging that pay dirt near the lithium, and I was getting a good amount of money to keep me going. It's currently about 38,000 just to run the system, and we have been covering those costs, so hopefully now that we have access to the coal, we should be making a little bit more money. Now we do struggle with trying to get this stuff out with the front end loader, and that is because of all the rock that's underneath. So what I've got to do is get into a position where I can either afford a bulldozer that's got a ripper on it, get a drill and drill it out, or just get a ripper attachment for an excavator. And that's going to help break up all the stone that's underneath this and will make it a lot easier to dig. I could of course blast it, I just got to weigh up what's going to be more cost efficient. Ideally I think I'd like to get a dozer because I can use the dozer in multiple ways. I'll have a bit more of a use to it. But I'll just throw this down in here and then we'll race up to the top and you'll be able to see how it's all linked together. And it just kind of lets me run both mines at the same time. So coming into view straight away, you should be able to see the conveyors just poking over the top in the corner. We haven't had to do an awful lot, thankfully. Sure, it might have cost a little bit because we've had to buy a few conveyor belts, but what I've been able to do is literally just connect the coal system into the system that has the lithium / the dirt, whatever you want to call it. Just drop it straight into the hopper. So we're not extending everything wildly, we're literally just running all realistically from one hopper. And then all this runs through the entirety of the rest of the system. Which means everything that I either load up here in these hoppers, or the coal down there in the coal hoppers, is all going to pass through the same system. What that's going to do is run everything up through these sorters, which is obviously then going to split the ore from the dirt. And as we continue to do this, we're slowly filling up the hole. It is taking some time, I've got to understand and appreciate. It was a big project. When I kind of looked at it, I thought it was going to be a little bit easier than what it was. But we are making some sort of way through it. When you look at how big the hole was that we've dug out, and how much dirt is actually in here, you start to realise this is a lot of volume. So what I might do is actually just step it down. So what's currently piling up here, I might just sort of level it off a little bit. Instead of trying to run everything all the way out, I'll just bring it down a couple of layers. So we'll have a nice change in height from kind of the existing bit to this bit that we're now making. Just so it slopes down nicely. Round about here, just drop it down a little bit. Rather than trying to bring it all up to one level, because that one level height is just going to be too wild. So we'll try and slope it down just a little bit down here. And just bring this up to a level. And eventually maybe drop it down. Or I'm just feeling at the minute, because of how long it's taken and because of just... I didn't expect it to be like this. Probably just going to end this here. Just bring a nice sweeping slope down and just kind of block it off here. And it gives us a little bit of a benchmark then of where we can look at as the game develops how easy or difficult things are, and enables us to check progress really. So this hole is actually the size of a nuke. All I've done is I've put a nuke in to start it off to take off the topsoil, and I just dug it all out. As you can see, the lithium is over here. The problem is there, the lithium then goes underneath the ramp that I'm using to get up and down. I could dig this out and go a different way, but for now we seem to be getting enough money as it is just from all of the pay dirt. So I don't really feel a massive need to do that. Maybe as time progresses that might change, might decide to do something different. But as it is for now, it's okay, you know. Gives us enough to keep it running. As long as I'm making just over about 38 grand, then we seem to be okay. And it does seem to run through, and most of it just seems to get to gravel. It's very rare that I'll see something else. But obviously the potential's there. That's why we're running 2 sorters. It's the whole 2 sorters mechanic. Legend has it that the more sorters you pass blasted rock through and pay dirt through, the chance of getting a rarer material is increased. because there's a like small percentage chance that pay dirt and blasted rock turns into like gold and stuff. So obviously the more sorters you run it through, the more chance you have, because you're kind of stacking the odds in your favour, if you like. But yeah, all this was a hole blown up by a nuke, and then I've just kind of tried to dig the circle round and just fill up the hoppers, and it's been doing okay so far. Ideally, what I would like to do in the perfect world is kind of get to a point where I've got enough money that I can buy a dozer, or maybe even a dozer and another front end loader, so that I could have one set here in this dirt hole, and then like a dozer and a front end loader down in the coal pit, so that I don't have to keep selling stuff like I'm doing at the minute. So like right now, if I need a dozer, I'll sell this front end loader, I'll go buy a dozer, bring the dozer, do what I need to do with the dozer, then when I finish that, I'll go sell the dozer, get a front end loader, go do that. And obviously it gets a bit tedious. It'd be nice just to be able to hop out of one into the other, but it also means that we're keeping our money in a decent position. I haven't taken out any loans for a long time. All the money that I have is all the money that I have. And of course, not everybody wants to pay that way. Most people are like, screw it, let's just go get loans and buy everything. But I'm trying to be a little bit more Scrooge-like, I guess. I'm trying to be tight here. I'm trying to see what I can get, how much money is actually my money, if you like, rather than spending all these loans and, you know, just playing the game unlimited. Because you can do that right now. In the current situation of the game, there's no limitations to anything, realistically speaking. You've got loans out there that basically give you as good as unlimited money, and the game has no need to do any particular thing. So for me, playing it this way, it gives me that little bit of a challenge. It adds something into the game that at the moment the game might not currently have. So if I can do everything on a budget and try and keep my loans low, then I feel like I'm, you know, just challenging myself a little bit. Because like I say, it's too easy to go and get a 40 million loan and be able to buy all the machinery and equipment that you want. This way, it just kind of adds a little bit of balance to the game. Just makes it fun for me in a different way to other people would probably agree. But being honest about the road that we're making, I think I've got to get to a point where basically fill in everything that we've currently got built there, so it's like nice and smooth and leveled off, and make a road. And then I've got to sit back and admire what we've done. It's a big project, really. Now looking back on it, it was a lot trickier than I thought it was going to be. I mean, building a road from here to like the station right out there on the hill, it's a big ask. I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was because when I was doing the coal, I seemed to be getting a lot of dirt, and the dirt seemed to be going quite a way. So in my head, I was like, oh, it's only going to take a couple of days kind of digging, and we'll get this road built out there. But in real terms, it's a big feat, and I think I bit off way more than I could chew. There was so little understanding going on right there. So I think when it comes to this road, I'm going to finish this bit off that we've got. Like I say, we're going to have that little bit of drop down there, change of elevation, see how difficult it is to make and do, and then like I say, we're going to use it as a benchmark. We're going to park it and we'll say, okay, this is what our experience was when we tried to build a road a couple of months after the game was out, and as the game develops, we can continue to add to that road, if you like. We'll see how easy it is, or what different machinery comes in, and it gives us something to build upon, and we can carry on going from there, really. But if I'm being honest, we were trying to overachieve very early on. It would have been nice if I'd have had the idea about the road whilst I was digging this coal mine, because the size of this hole, the amount of dirt that we'd have got out of that would have really helped. And it would have also given me a bit of a reality check about how much things would have been. But because what I was doing was taking this dirt and spreading it out, of course it looked like it was going further than it actually was doing. Had I been containing it like I am doing now, maybe I'd have got a little bit of a realization that, boy, this is going to be a long, tricky process. Of course, the joys with being down here in the coal mine is that sooner or later, as we're trying to fill a bucket up, we are going to just hit a dead stop. And that's going to be rock. And there we go. And we're here. Boom. Yeah, so we just hit this rock and we come to a dead stop. Now I think we might be able to mitigate that by changing the dirt mode that we have. So I like using this voxel mode because it feels a little bit more real. Like you actually get like physical dirt, if you like, and stuff going into the bucket. But I know that the bulk mode, you don't have that. And I don't think it comes to such an abrupt stop, because you kind of like just, I don't know how it works, but you basically transfer the ore and stuff from the ground into the bucket and you have a fill level. And it seems to work a lot better, but as you see, we're getting down, And you can see that the level of the rock that we're kind of already underneath, so we are going to hit a lot more. So I might have to look at using that different fill method, the bulk dirt, see if it's more capable for us down here, see if we like bump onto less rock. The only thing with that level is I prefer using this method, because when you fill a bucket up, any excess kind of spills out and just goes back to the ground. But when you use the bulk dirt method, you end up just kind of pushing a big mound. If it comes to filling up a truck, for example, if you're using this kind of mode here that I'm using now with all these little balls, and you fill the truck up too much, obviously it all spills over the side and it kind of forms itself with the ground around the truck. If you use the bulk dirt, once the truck is full, you can actually continue to pour stuff into the truck. The fill level doesn't get any more, but that dirt just disappears. It doesn't even fall to the ground or form to the ground. So you actually lose a substantial amount of stuff if you're not paying attention. So that's why ideally I want to try and stick with this kind of dirt mode as much as I can, but if it makes it easier to navigate the dirt around the rocks until I can afford a ripper or a drill or something like that to get through this stone, and you know, we'll see what we have to do. You work with what you've got, I guess. So the coal mine is now open again, and we've got the big dirt / lithium mine going on. We should be able to get this road built, and we should be able to get a little bit of cash coming in. I appreciate it has been long and tedious for you guys, and you have no idea how much I appreciate you for watching now more than ever before. And I just want to say a massive thank you. I shall continue to do this, but yeah, big thanks to you guys anyway. You take it easy, and I shall see you again next time. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.